is valid in the sense that there is no need for a God. I mean, everything in the world can be understood without needing to invoke a God. You have to accept that that is one possible view to take about the world.
Sure, that's possible.
But do you deny that science cannot account for everything?
Yes, I do deny that science.
So what can't it account for?
Well, had you brought that up in the debate, I had a number of examples that I was going to give. I think there are a good number of things that cannot be scientifically proven, but that we're all rational to accept. Let me list 5. Logical and mathematical truths cannot be proven by science. Science presupposes logic and math, so that to try to prove them by science would be arguing in a circle. Metaphysical truths like there are other minds other than my own, or that the external world is real, or that the past was not created 5 minutes ago with an appearance of age, are rational beliefs that cannot be scientifically proven. Ethical beliefs about statements of value are not accessible by the scientific method. You can't show by science whether the Nazi scientists in the camps did anything evil as opposed to the scientists in Western democracies. Aesthetic judgments, number 4, cannot be accessed by the scientific method because the beautiful, like the good, cannot be scientifically proven. And finally, most remarkably, would be science itself. Science cannot be justified by the scientific method. Science is permeated with unprovable assumptions. For example, in the special theory of relativity, the whole theory hinges on the assumption that the speed of light is constant in a one-way direction between any 2 points A and B. But that strictly cannot be proven. We simply have to assume that in order to hold to the theory.
But you're missing the whole...
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. So none of these beliefs can be scientifically proven, and yet they are accepted by all of us, and we're rational in doing so.
Does science have all the answers? Yes, science can account for everything. Science, Webster's 1828, simply means to know by facts. Operates from known truths in experiment and observation, which functions from the branches of knowledge, grammar, logic, rhetoric, arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and music. Also within science contains hypotheses, theories, assumptions, and beliefs, faith, based on evidence through what we observe by the 5 senses, with logical reasoning and consistency. Logic, Webster's 1828, basically means the art of thinking and reasoning justly and correctly. Logic functions by facts, reality, and probability. Consistency also proves logic to be present. Science and logic coexist. To think and reason correctly by facts, reality, and probability, then you would use the scientific method, which consists of what is directly observed by the 5 senses. You can't exercise science without logic, and you can't logically think without science. Science cannot prove everything factually. But it can prove everything by at least theory or belief by logical probability and consistency. This is why science has all the answers. The Bible is a scientific logical written book of instruction, consistency, and righteous living. The following 7 examples can be proven scientifically because they can be proven logically. 1. Truth in logic and mathematics. Science can prove these things because logic works alongside science. Example, if you were to prove scientifically whether or not something is to be taken literal or metaphorical based on what was written, you would conduct the following experiment. Look at the statement, "This car cost me an arm and a leg." Then compare the English language to the statement made and how it is used and expressed. Most people would use that phrase as a metaphor indicating the cost was much for the vehicle. There is no indication that the vehicle literally cost somebody a physical arm and a leg. Therefore, the following theory proves the logical conclusion: the fact is, this phrase is commonly used in the English language. The reality is that the phrase is commonly used as a metaphor expression of something that cost much monetary value to obtain it. The probability of the phrase being taken literal is not likely at all because there is no evidence of anybody using it to literally express they lost 2 limbs, making them a double amputee. Logic has been proven by the scientific experiment by taking a factual literal expression in the English language directly observed in written form by the sense of seeing and then using the logical method to conduct the experiment properly and efficiently. Therefore, it's because logic can be presupposed in the scientific method, does not mean that logic cannot be proven by science because science can express the logical method by scientific experimentation. Mathematics. This can also be presupposed as science uses mathematics to conduct the scientific method. However, science can also prove mathematics by doing the scientific experiment. Take the number value of one apple, adding another apple to prove it equals 2 apples. Or use subtraction, multiplication, or even long division. All of these can be expressed and worked by science because science conducts experiments to prove the theory that, for example, 1 + 1 = 2. It is a theory that can be proven as a scientific fact by the experiment of addition. 2. Existing truths. There being other minds than mine own. We can prove that there are other minds in existence. Mind, Webster's 1828 simply means, the intellectual power in mankind that expresses intention, opinion, desire, knowledge, thought, and memory. Science can conduct the experiment of taking more than one human being and asking questions to reveal the following listed of each person. That would prove there are other minds than their own because everybody in that circle would most likely have a different intention, opinion, desire, knowledge, thought, and memory. The external world is real. Noun. External world, plural external worlds, philosophy, the world consisting of all the objects and events which are experienceable or whose existence is accepted by the human mind, but which exist independently of the mind. From Wiktionary. World, Webster's 1828 simply means, the universe consisting of globes, the earth, the heavens, present state of life, secular life, which can be observed as business, personal, culture, language, etc. The phrase external world can also indicate the universe of what NASA has observed and sent back to Earth for us to observe as well. There are many technological advances that can allow us to observe the rotation of the Earth, look at the sun, the moon, stars, etc. We can scientifically prove the external world is real by applying it to the factual definition of the word world itself. Remember, science is based on observation. The past was not created 5 minutes ago with the appearance of age. The past is anything experienced with age. I can conclude a statement of what I have directly observed and experienced in the past 5 minutes. This can definitely be proven scientifically because time has no dimension to it of physical solid, liquid, or gas to be observed by the 5 senses. Time cannot be seen, but can be felt as personal experience of age. Time affects everything. It shows the after effects in life, age, preservation, and death. For example, if you let a candle in the present and you let it sit for 5 minutes, you can tell that wax has been melting off, the candle is a little bit shorter, and can observe the burning rate of a candle and how fast it was burning. That is a physical object that we can prove that the past was created 5 minutes ago with age because the candle ages as it burns. Memories being stored and true in our mind. Scientifically, we can prove that memories are stored and true in our mind because we conduct questions and how the person answers can be compared to the recorded events that have taken place on record. For example, if somebody were to watch a YouTube video for 5 minutes and then given a questionnaire of what they observed, their answers would prove the accuracy of their memory to what the video factually produced. If their memories are flawed, then training can be done to improve their memory. If the memories are accurate, that proves memories were properly stored in the mind. 3. Ethical truths/statements of value. The Nazi scientists doing evil in the concentration and death camps, as opposed to science in a Western democracy. Science can measure morality. Morality is basically the set of rules and values based on the concluded perception of right and wrong and good and evil. Science can experiment of questionnaire and observation of individuals and different societies of what they perceive to be right and wrong. Objective morality can be scientifically proven by logical probable consistency. Example, 3 classifications of morality measured. 1. Individual. This is based on the belief that everybody is a god of their own universe and they say what goes and they make their own rules. This cannot be objectively true because every individual is going to think differently in one form or another. 2. Society. Based on the belief that every society, government, religious circle, cult etc., has the right by majority of agreement to set their own rules for their country, circle, or gathering of people. This cannot be objective because every society is going to think differently. For example, America believes in democracy, which is freedom to live however you like by your own choosing. A monarchy dictatorship would be the opposite of dictating how everybody ought to live by a centralized single ruler. 3. God or a supreme being as creator of the universe. This is by the belief that one being created everything and he makes the rules and gives the laws of how everything operates. This can be objective because it comes from an outside source that does not originate from us. This being operates by himself and is sinless because you cannot have a sinful being be the creator of the universe and claim to be God. If it's an outside source from the creator, then he can in fact dictate rules of right and wrong. Logically objective morality can be scientifically proven by probability. You take the logical experiment that it is a fact that everything on earth can be directly observed of having an origination by a creator, designer, inventor, etc. If everything on earth has an origination by a maker, then logically speaking we can scientifically conclude from what we directly observe on earth that the universe can consistently have a creator as well. Remember, science is based on facts, observation, experimentation, but also hypotheses, assumptions, beliefs, and theories. A scientific assumption, belief, and theory can be correctly concluded by logical reasoning because, as explained before, logic and science coexist together. Like the experiment explained before, we can take what we directly observe, a scientific fact on Earth, and conclude logically with consistency that if everything on Earth has an origination by a maker, the universe can have a creator. Science cannot prove everything factually, but it can prove everything by at least theory or belief by logical probability and consistency. 4. Historical truths. President Obama won the 2012 election. Science can prove this because we can do an investigation on the votes given by the citizens. Also, every bit of history we have not directly observed can only be believed based upon the evidence, scientific observation. 5. Experience truths. Experience is the conclusion after an instance or circumstance that took place in someone's life. Therefore, it is the result and effect of their trial or chastening by civil law or life itself. Any experience an individual has is based on direct observation of the 5 senses and their response to such conditions. This can be scientifically proven because, again, we can give a questionnaire and test the experience of the individual based on a recorded writing of the instant or witnesses of the incident. 6. Science. People think that science cannot be proven by the scientific method. That's ridiculous. A car can be proven by the car itself. Science is knowing by observation and experimentation, but also a conclusion of theory or belief based on evidence and logical probable consistency. I can prove that science exists by exercising the factual definition. I can observe, experiment, and conclude by theory or belief based on logic. I can prove science by exercising the scientific method. Because that's what science means. Can I prove love by love itself? Of course. Love is defined as an action by Jesus Christ in Matthew 5:44-45. How do you love people? Praying for them, doing good to them, and blessing them, being a blessing to them. Those are all actions, not a feeling. The feeling is to be the result of doing the right thing, not the cause of it. Love is not a feeling, it's an action. The feeling obtained by actually loving somebody is the result of satisfaction. 7. God. Science can prove the existence of God. Can science prove God factually? No, but it can prove him logically. The greatest evidence we have for God are the scriptures. Our belief and knowledge rests upon the testimony of others. If we can't believe and accept the Bible, we must then burn every other history book. The Bible declares the knowledge of God to be universal. Keep in mind that the Bible does not prove God's existence as a fact, but gives strong evidence towards the belief in God by faith. To persuade for the existence of God is to use knowledge, thought, reason, and conscience. Just because a man doesn't believe in God, that doesn't prove he does not exist. Just like a man who doesn't have a math book and denies mathematics. Conclusion. Science can account for everything. Maybe not everything factually, but everything can be accounted for logically. Science originated with God. God conducted the first scientific action with knowledge, instruction, observation, experimentation, and conclusion. Genesis 1:1 In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Experiment summary. 2 And the earth was without form, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Observation. 3 And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. Instruction of action. 4 And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Observation and conclusion. 5 And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Knowledge directed with identity given.